Hey folks, today is Friday, February 22nd, 2019. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, and like every Friday, I'm here to talk about all the video game news stuff that has been going on, and there's been a lot of stuff going on. We gotta talk about so much hot stuff, guys. Are you ready? Are you ready? I made that coffee way too...
I need to go home.
The first story we got to talk about is a spicy and interesting and informative one. A recent interview with Amy Hennig. Amy Hennig, for those of you that don't know, is one of the creative leads behind Legacy of Kain, the series, also eventually Uncharted. She made a very high-profile exit in the middle of the development of Uncharted 4 and ultimately went to work on with EA that Star Wars game that everyone was really looking forward to, codenamed Ragtag, that was more recently finally canceled after being shuffled around. With her moving from EA and that project long behind her, Amy Hennig has now gone on record in a pretty fascinating interview. We've linked the whole thing in the description below, and I think you should absolutely read it. I always say here, we talk about video games so much, we should do our homework and be read up on them. This is a good story for some interesting quotes, a really interesting, refreshing take on the industry, but the big thing was what she said about EA, and ultimately the fate of the Star Wars project that, we all have been kind of lamenting even still. Hennig details how the project got started and how in a lot of ways it was a delayed start because teams were kind of winding down from working on different projects before getting along onto it. When she started in April 2014, she had looked at it as plenty of time to really talk with Lucasfilm and really hash out what this game would be and get the details right. And interestingly enough, she said that the Star Wars project and development was going along perfectly fine. She said from the outside looking in, a lot of times with game development, it can look like it's all chaos. Hennig did go into detail saying how essentially making games under EA and more organized structure compared to Naughty Dog was very different for her. But she said one of the main difficulties the team faced was the fact that the game had to be developed with the Frostbite engine, and the Frostbite engine had, been designed more for first-person shooter games like Battlefield. The team was familiar with the engine, of course, but they had to, really rework things to make it into a third-person action-adventure style game. But the big quote, I think, if you're just interested in the EA and the Star Wars thing, is this from Amy. She said, "I wish people could have seen more of it because it was a lot further along than people ever got a glimpse of. And it was good, But it just didn't make sense in EA's business plan, ultimately. Things changed over the course of that time I was there. So, what can you do?" That last part is just like, whatever. I do think that part is a shame, though, with EA changing its business plan and essentially wanting a different type of game to be made. That is, of course, their prerogative because they're the company. But to just keep starting and spending money and stopping projects and redoing it into something else is disappointing for people who anticipate the games and also the people who are working on them. She does hope that, some of the ideas from Ragtag will eventually live on in some other sort of Star Wars game. Like I said, there's a lot more stuff into her career and, the thought process behind the Uncharted games that's really interesting if you like this type of stuff. Go check it out. But the other big story this week is a rumor. So, as always, I gotta say that first. Take this with a grain of salt. This is a rumor. It has apparently been corroborated by people from Game Informer. It's also been initially reported from a site that does have a track record of getting things right. But apparently, Xbox games are going to be coming to Nintendo Switch. Specifically cited in reports, it seems like Ori and the Blind Forest and Cuphead will be making their way to Nintendo Switch. But not only that, the big kicker is that apparently Microsoft is also working to get Games Pass on Nintendo Switch through their xCloud streaming technology, their game streaming technology that they've been talking about a lot recently. Apparently, streaming the Xbox Game Pass library on a Nintendo Switch is going to be a thing that's going to be announced within this year. Now, we've talked about this a lot. We've talked about all the weird things Microsoft has been doing in terms of building up services more than actual individual games and trying to build a platform and essentially putting Xbox Live on different things and being able to log in. But if this is what it's been leading to, this is crazy, man. I didn't expect to go this far just because it seemed like too out there to be true, but I do think that's really cool, and I've said it before, and people think I'm like a Microsoft shill or something, but the fact that they're trying all these weird different things, I know they could have a way better library of games right now, but the fact that they're doing possibly weird shit like this, I'm down to just watch and be along for the ride. I'm talking about Xbox and a PlayStation turns on. I think ultimately it is pretty cool, like if you think about it, like say you're somebody who doesn't own an Xbox but has a Nintendo Switch and you've always wanted to play Gears of War or something, now you can stream it to your Nintendo Switch. I'm not the biggest fan of streaming games, but still for some people to get their hands on stuff, it's cool. It's a cool alternative. I am very curious to see what you guys think though in the comments and stuff, because like I said, this is a wacky story. This is crazy. Gaming is certainly interesting right now, that's for sure. Speaking of things being interesting, we got to talk about Reggie Fils-Aime, the head of Nintendo America and very much a big giant meme, one big old hunk of meat of a man, beloved by a lot of Nintendo fans, has officially announced his retirement. If you're a Nintendo fan, you probably know who Reggie is. We've seen him for years on Nintendo Directs, on stage announcements, and just everything, and he's always just seemed really cool, although he very much speaks like a president. Besides that corporate facade, you can see just like a cool guy who's into video games. And one time I saw him in real life, he walked past me, and that was really cool. Also, shout out to Reggie. He went to Brentwood High School on Long Island. But in all seriousness, he is going to be stepping down and retiring over the course of a few months, and he's going to be replaced by none other than Doug Bowser. Yes, I am not going to make a joke about his name being Bowser, because literally everyone else on the internet has. I like to think I have a little bit more pride, but it's really hard. Doug Bowser, for those of you that don't know, does show up a lot. You know, we've seen him on stage, we've seen him do things. He has been a higher up in Nintendo. He's worked there for like 4 years, I believe, off the top of my head. He was an exec at EA before that, but I don't know, he seems to be cool, except for one thing. Somebody on Twitter did point out this photo, which I think is very alarming. Reggie did put out a video to fans announcing his departure, and I know he's just like a big old corporate CEO, and like you shouldn't really care that much, but I thought his video was pretty heartfelt, and by the end I was like, damn, why am I getting teary-eyed over here? But in all seriousness, Reggie, congrats on your retirement. Thanks for being cool and keeping it real. Cheers, dude. Also, you're handing over Nintendo to literally Bowser. Great job. But now let's break down some stuff that you may have missed over the course of last week. We're going to give you a bunch of stuff. It's all linked in the description below. The first thing you should know, PSA, Resident Evil Code Veronica X, the Xbox 360 version is now backwards compatible on Xbox One, which I think is really cool. Also, the Lost Planet games. I only played the first one, but that game ruled. On the flip side, on the PlayStation side, we got a new video that's essentially a highlight of things people created from the Dreams beta. It's really cool. Like we talked about a few weeks ago, people are making wild shit in that game. They've also announced that the game is going to be releasing in early access, which I think is an interesting move considering the game has been being worked on for so long. But still, Dream seems really awesome. There's a lot of potential for that. We also got another Mortal Kombat 11 character reveal trailer. This time it's Jade, and just shout out to NetherRealm. I love their character reveal trailers. They're just like so over the top awesome. And in case you missed it, but if you are playing Apex Legends, they announced a new weapon. It's the Havoc energy rifle, so go nuts. Good luck with that. If you still care, there are still people out there playing Battlefront 2, and now that it's a little better, they finally revealed Anakin Skywalker, his in-game model, doing cool stuff in Battlefront 2. He's going to be dropping soon. And a surprise announcement, something we didn't totally expect, but Darkest Dungeon 2 has been announced. We've got the teaser announcement trailer and everything linked in the description below, like I said. Now, on the PC gaming side of things, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Steam recently announced that they're getting rid of their video section or their video store, which is something I never really used, but it did have original content and all kinds of stuff. But Steam and Valve essentially came out and said that, frankly, not a lot of people were using it. So they are shutting it down, and they're going to focus on like relevant video game content, but now that's just going to be discovered on a game page in Steam. They acknowledged that it was pretty much an experiment. They had, essentially produced certain exclusive things for it. They were also actually, on the street talking to some big time people to make stuff for it, but it just never really panned out. Now, on the flip side of things, another Epic Game Store exclusive for PC gamers, World War Z, will be dropping exclusively to the Epic Game Store, and they announced that they said, hey, this is good for you guys because it's actually going to be cheaper. We're going to pass the savings off to you. I'm sure there's going to be some people not happy about that exclusivity, but I do want to point out this World War Z game keeps popping up, and it actually looks pretty cool. I'm actually really looking forward to playing it. Kind of looks like a big, crazy third-person Left 4 Dead, and I'm always chasing that Left 4 Dead dragon, so I hope this kind of scratches that itch. But in some other interesting news, if you like this type of stuff, we got to talk about Fortnite. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't like Fortnite. I'm actually not the biggest fan, but, we still can't deny it's the biggest freaking thing. It was also helping the industry grow in a very interesting way because Epic Games and Fortnite just announced this big world tournament. This esports tournament is going to be absolutely insane. First, there's going to be online qualifiers in April, and $1 million will be on the line. Then in July in New York City, there's going to be the finals with a $30 million prize pool. The Fortnite World Cup solo champion will walk away with $3 million, and Epic said that, in total, they're going to be awarding $100 million in 2019. That is, yes, absolutely a new record for prize pool, beating out, I believe, League of Legends, and that is absolutely insane. The amount of money that number one, Fortnite makes, and number two, the amount of money up for grabs is life-changing and insane. I just bring it up. I think it's really interesting. Even if you're not into esports or even if you're not into Fortnite, it's just crazy to see video games become this big of a freaking thing. Since we're in New York, I'm absolutely gonna go see those finals in Manhattan because it's just like, just to be a part of that energy is really cool. But before we go, we do have to talk about Anthem for a sec. Now, I know I'm not the biggest fan of it. If you haven't yet, check out the Before You Buy video I did. I explain why I don't like it without really being an asshole about it. I'm proud of that. I feel like we need a little more of that. But even though I'm not a big fan of it, I know some people out there are playing it, and we are going to put a call out for glitches like we do often. So linked in the description below will be a form. If you come across a crazy Anthem glitch or something weird while you're playing, submit it to us for a chance for it to possibly be seen and reacted to in a video that we do soon. This could be a complete shit show, and I'm looking forward to it because the glitch videos are always just fun to do, no matter the game. But now we got to do that console giveaway we do every single week. You know how it goes down by now. There's a link in the description below. You click it to sign up. You enter once, then you're entered for good. I know it asks for like a YouTube name or channel URL, but you can essentially put in however we can find and identify you on YouTube, however you log in. Every week, we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. So this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because we're going to be reaching out to you to figure out how to send you your free stuff. Definitely check your inbox and definitely check your spam because a couple people missed. So congratulations to the winner, but now we got to talk about a lot of stuff going on this week, man. Like I said, Xbox streaming games on Nintendo Switch or some Xbox games being ported to Nintendo Switch. What do you think of that? If you have no horse in a race, say you only play on PS4 or PC, do you still think it has interesting ramifications? Do you think it can make its way over to whatever console you're playing on? Also, the Amy Hennig interview. Did you read the whole thing? What do you think some of the most interesting quotes are from that? A lot of interesting game industry talk. I think the Star Wars thing is super disappointing. The EA thing is definitely disappointing, but still, we can all learn from it. Also, like I always say, I definitely want to hear what you guys are playing this weekend because we always like to gauge, like, you know, what videos to make. So let us know what you're doing this weekend. If you got anything for me, as always, like I say, you can yell at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm always over there. If you want some deep dive Anthem talk or any other video game talk, you can check out the newest episode of my podcast, Because Video Games, that I do with Andrew Gebbia. The new episode is weird and goofy, and I hope you check it out. Let me know what you think. But I always gotta say it, man. Thank you guys for coming around and watching us every Friday, talking about all this weird video game stuff. We really appreciate it. What? Why is my phone so loud? Seriously, the Friday show is my favorite part of the week, so I thank you guys for that. It is worth noting, though, if you like it, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. We really appreciate that. But if you are new, you should consider subscribing because we put out videos every single day, all kinds of stuff. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me. I should have said it like Reggie. Pizza's on me. Pizza is on me.